She is the glamour girl on the Australian kickboxing scene. She is also our profile piece on It's Hammer Time, introducing Caley Reece.
I'm Caley Reece. I'm from Riddler's Gym in Perth, WA. Thai boxing is my life. It's the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning, and it's the last thing I think of when I go to bed at night. Motivating myself, I always think of my opponent. So if it's cold or it's raining and I can't be bothered getting out of bed, I think of them, and if they're training and they're getting out of bed, then they're one step ahead of me. So that's what motivates me to keep going. So I don't want them to be out on the road running or kicking pads and me laying in bed. So I think if they're doing that, then I've got to get up as well, because I don't want them to be one in front of me.
Caley, one of the most well put together women in the world of Muay Thai. Very crisp all-rounder, good knees, great grapple, solid boxing, good legs.
Caley's certainly looking focused in front of this massive crowd.
Massive. Oh, yes, nicely done. Pull over. It is an almost faultless performance from the Australian.
In the time that I've been fighting, I've held the WMC state title, the WMC Australian title, WKA Australian title, 2 WMC Intercontinental titles, a 56 kilo WPMF world title, and 3 WMC world titles in 3 different weight divisions.
The first time I met and saw Caley was actually seeing her fight, and I was super impressed with her speed and natural ability. And then several days later, as it so happened, she called up and inquired about coming to train at my gym. She was looking for a new gym. At first, I didn't know who I was talking to, and then I finally got this suspicion that she'd just fought on the weekend and that it was her. So having seen her fight that first time, and after that first training session, I knew that she was something special. She had unbelievable speed and skill and just natural ability, a very, very quick eye, and seemed to be super, super fit.
Caley Reece from Riddler's Gym, her husband Darren Riddler Reece in the corner. This is Caley in front of her home crowd. This is Caley at her textbook finest, as the Hammer said. Nice left round kick from Caley, crushed it into the ribcage.
I've got a bit of a funny nickname. They call me Hammer and Tong because that's the only pace I know is hammer and tong. I give 110% with everything I do. With training, I give 110%. With my diet, I give 110%. I've got a sports psychologist. I don't cut any corners with anything to do with my training. It's always hammer and tong. I don't have a second pace. I just go hard all the time. I sat down with Darren and basically devised a plan of how I was going to get to the top. And from the very beginning, I started off with a list of girls' names, just locally. And as I fought them, I crossed all the names off. Then I branched out to nationally, crossed all the names off, and then it branched out internationally. So that was really a way that I set goals for myself and challenged myself, because I'd always have a girl's name underneath the girl's name that I'd cross off. So rather than just continuing in day-to-day training and just plodding along, there was always that girl, or was always a group of girls that I knew that I had to beat to get to the top.
Hudson's got to let that right hand go, and she does now. It's been her prime weapon so far, countering with that right hand down the tube off Caley's kicking.
Caley has become a huge role model to a lot of girls, literally every girl that ever sees her train, because of how athletic she is, her speed, how she presents herself, how she talks. Other girls can relate to her and see themselves in that position, rather than the usual masculine kind of idea that people have. And I think that's resulted in her popularity. You know, even in Perth, she's become a super popular fighter because she's ruined the conception of what female fighters will look to be, but at the same time also became known as very, very skillful, very fast and very tough. You know, people literally had not seen her lose in Perth, but had seen her sustain injuries like broken ribs and broken noses and things like that, and never showed it during a fight. You know, she was the perfect specimen of beauty and brawn all in one package.
I lost my first fight, which was a kickboxing fight. Then I changed over to Thai boxing with my current trainer, Darren Reece, and I lost that fight as well. So I had 2 losses initially when I started, and I didn't quite know whether to continue, because You know, nobody wants to lose, and your first 2 losses you think, oh, should I continue with this kind of thing? Is it my sort of thing? So I thought to myself, I'll give it another couple of turns and see how I go.
Your winner and new WMC Women's World Champion, red corner, Caley Reece.
I think I won about 7 in a row, and I thought, okay, this is for me. And from then on, I lost three fights in 47 fights. So it just goes to prove that if you keep pushing and you keep committing yourself and dedicating yourself to something, that you can make anything happen, you know.